Although there's nothing graphic in the words I'm about to share, I do want to let people know I'll be talking about what happened in Texas earlier this week. So whether you're streaming or you're here in person, if you'd rather go outside, I understand. I did want to talk this Shabbat about an amazing trip to Israel I took last week with Honeymoon Israel. Visits to Ein Gedi and Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, and big questions about Jewish identity and modern Jewish life. I actually really wanted to offer a tribute to Roger Angel, one of the great writers who passed away last week at 101, whose reflections on everything from aging to baseball to relationships make him a paragon of modern American writing and perfect fodder for sermons. I also wanted to talk about the significance of Vice President Harris swearing in earlier this week Ambassador Deborah Lipstadt as the U.S. State Department's Special Envoy to combat and monitor anti-Semitism. And we should probably talk about Memorial Day, ensuring that the men and women who died in service of this country aren't lost to a long weekend or sales and barbecues. But then the news of Tuesday at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, poured across our phones and TV screens, and it's almost impossible to even talk. How can you talk about 19 dead elementary school students and 2 heroic teachers? What message can we send? And to compound this tragedy is that we've actually talked about this so many times before. December 2012, the Shabbat after the horrific shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newtown, Connecticut, Rabbi Adam Rosenwasser said, "We need to heed the wisdom of those who came before us, who recognize that sometimes weapons are necessary, but they must be treated with caution. Above all, great care must be taken to make sure they do not fall into the wrong hands." In July of 2015, I said after the devastating racist murders at Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, South Carolina, we all know that an attack on one community of faith is an attack on all communities of faith. In June 2016, after the shooting targeting the LGBT community at the Pulse nightclub in Florida, Rabbi Martyr said, "That's what I want in my country, a gun policy that allows for reasonable self-defense but does everything possible to prevent guns from taking the lives of the innocent." It was my turn again in February of 2018, after 17 high schoolers were shot and killed at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It should not be harder to vote than to buy a gun. It should not be harder to buy cold medication than to buy a gun. We must support anyone that says enough is enough. And last week, just last week, after a shooting killed 10 at the Top supermarket in Buffalo, New York, Rabbi Morrison said, "For this has been a bloody week in America. Adonai, we live in a country awash in guns, our country, this haven for the persecuted, in which on average 321 people are shot each day. And one of us has been on this bima after UCSB or Tucson or Aurora or Santa Fe or Las Vegas or El Paso or Tree of Life or the VTA shooting in San Jose 1 year ago yesterday that killed 9 people 20 minutes from this sanctuary, but vanished so quickly from our heads and headlines." And the most perverse thing is, one of us before too long is going to be up here again, offering Kaddish prayers for people or for kids who simply did not deserve to die. I don't really want to do it anymore. I hate that I live in such a cowardly country, a country so unwilling to act with any courage to confront this epidemic. I hate that our elected officials in Texas and Washington and around the country have such blind idolatry to the gun industry and an A rating from the NRA that they are impotent in protecting children. Gun fanatics and politicians who instinctively oppose any actions to combat this firearm pandemic drain the moral fabric of this country. You know as well as I do that other countries respond differently to the tragedy of mass shootings than our own. How many of us know the Onion headline by heart? No way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens. We know that Australia and New Zealand and Japan and Norway have responded heroically to mass shooting tragedies in their recent past. They've seen the horrors and responded, significantly reducing mass deaths. Since the 1996 Port Arthur shooting, Australia's would-be gun owners now face a national registry, a 28-day wait period, and a licensing process that requires demonstrating a valid reason for owning a gun. And there has been one mass shooting since. You also all know the statistics. Guns in homes leads to more gun deaths, not greater gun safety. Each year in this country, nearly 8,000 children under the age of 18 are shot. That's 22 a day. You know that most guns deaths don't happen in news-attracting, dramatic mass shootings. Rather, people are killed one by one in a vicious stream of violence and destruction. Guns cause 56% of domestic violence deaths. Around 4,500 United States veterans die by firearm suicide each year. That's about 12 a day. You probably listened to the remarkable passion of Coach Kerr, a terrific basketball coach and an even better human. You saw the fierce critique of the Senate by Chris Murphy of Connecticut. You actually probably know the Jewish wisdom too. Do not stand idly by. We shall beat our swords into plowshares. If you'd like to explore more of Jewish teaching, tomorrow at Torah study, we're going to explore our tradition's views on guns and gun violence. We know that we must support anyone that says enough is enough. Groups like Mom Demands Action and the Brady Campaign and Anytown USA. We should support them with our words, our actions, and our checkbooks. We also know that thoughts and prayers must lead to political pressure. I truly believe that one of the biggest threats isn't just the NRA, but it's the cynicism and exhaustion of everyday Americans. We know that we must make phone calls and write letters and continue a relentless campaign of political, societal, and economic pressure. We know all of this, but I also want to be sure that we know all these names. Nivae Bravo, age 10. Jacqueline Jalen Casares, age 9. McKenna Lee Elrod, age 10. Jose Flores, age 10. Eliana Garcia, age 9. Uzia Garcia, age 9. Mary Jo Garza, age 10. Xavier Lopez, age 10. Jace Carmelo Luevanos, age 10. Tess Marie Mata, age 10. Miranda Mathis, age 11. Alethea Ramirez, age 10. Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez, age 10. Maite Yulena Rodriguez, age 10. Alexandria Ania Rubio, age 10. Lila Salazar, age 10. Jalila Nicole Silguero, age 11. Eliano Cruz Torres, age 10. Rogelio Torres, age 10. Eva Moreles, age 44. Irma Garcia, age 48. I also know, and you do too, that everything rests on the future of our school kids. The best way we honor those 19 names is to be relentless in our quest to protect every other child in this country. This Wednesday morning, I was at the spring musical at Ormondale Elementary School, sitting with Aaron and watching our 5 and 7-year-olds perform in the school play. Whether it's Portola Valley or Palo Alto or Newtown or Parkland or Uvalde, I really do believe our future is bright because these students are terrific. They are kind and compassionate, funny and wise, passionate and inspiring. Our nation must wake up. Our kids have more courage than we do, and we can learn a lot from them. Before too long, they will be in the driver's seats, both figuratively and literally. And they will be governors and senators and teachers and coaches and doctors and ministers and rabbis. We can't tell them what it's going to look like, but let's do everything possible to at least make sure the world they inherit from us is safe. This is our challenge. For the sake of our country and for the sake of our community and for the sake of our kids. I invite you to rise, page 282.